Welcome to Spring Boot Tutorial Episode 4. This is my channel Proto Hub. Today I will walk you through the popular dependencies that are used in Spring Boot projects. In upcoming videos, you will also learn each of those dependencies separately. First, let us look into Spring Boot Starter. Spring Boot starters are called dependency descriptors, which is used to make the development easier. So the first dependency we are going to see is Spring Boot starter parent. It is also called the default dependency of Spring Boot. Whenever you download a project, there will be a starter parent dependency added to your pom.xml file. So it has the capacity of building and running the projects successfully. The next popular dependency is Spring Boot Starter Web. It is used for building web applications, including REST API development. It is using Tomcat as the default embedded container. So there are other default servers like Jetty and Undertow, but Spring Boot by default it uses Tomcat as the default embedded server. Have you ever come across the word unit testing during your development? Yes, once your development is completed, you will be doing the unit test. So unit testing is a part of development phase. So for doing the unit tests and writing the JUnit cases, Spring Boot starter test is the dependency. It is used to test the applications using JUnit or Mockito frameworks. The next most popular dependency is Spring Boot starter validation. It is used to do server-side validation on the objects. For example, people may be using some tampering tools like Postman or Fiddler to tamper the incoming API requests, and they may remove that parameter or make the parameters value as blank. So the server has to which means the application has to validate that request. So for doing that, there is a dependency. This is the dependency which is used to do the same, Spring Boot starter validation. When we take the Spring Boot version 2.0, JavaX validation is mostly used. On going to the Spring Boot version 3.x, JavaX validation is migrated to Jakarta validation. If you want to know how to insert this dependency into your project, please refer the episode 3 of this tutorial on how to add this dependency to your project. In order to secure the application, the most popular dependency which is used is Spring Boot starter security. It is used to add the Spring level security to your project. With this, we can either do basic authentication or authentication using bearer token or JWT token and etc. In traditional Java application, if you want to connect to a database and perform database operations, you will have to write manual queries, and even you have to connect the database manually. So to overcome that and make that development easier, Spring Boot starter data JBA is the dependency used for doing the database operations. It is an interface, it is a specification. So using that, we can make database to be connected with our application and perform all the operations. As we are Java developers, it has various methods, so we can use those methods and we can connect to the database and perform the database operations. It is using Spring Data JPA along with Hibernate implementation. The next dependency is Spring Boot starter actuator. This is used to monitor your application's health and its metrics. So there are many endpoints in it through which you can test all the data of this application. Either it can be endpoint or it can be health and performance of this application. The next popular dependency is Spring Boot Starter Data Redis. This is used to connect to Redis, and it uses Redis database for storage and retrieval of data. It can also be called as Redis cache. There will be a separate tutorial and playlist where I will walk you through the Spring Boot connected with Redis and performing Redis operations. Still, there are many popular dependencies used in Spring Boot projects, but I have listed few of them only. Surely there will be practical episodes in this tutorial where I will walk you through each of the above dependencies. So thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for the next episode.